This weekend we hear a lot of different stories about what is really important in our lives. We hear about the vanity of worldly things. We hear about how we have to put our hearts into heavenly things as opposed to earthly things. And we hear about that parable about the man who's only focused on his material possessions. And it brings us oftentimes when we hear these readings to examine ourselves and say, how am I focused on this world versus that world? But I think oftentimes we have a little twinge of guilt in our hearts when we hear these readings. Yeah, maybe I'm living a little too worldly of a life. But then we do maybe one thing, we give a little bit more money to charity, or we do one volunteer thing, and then we're kind of back to our old worldly self. And the message of the readings this weekend is really one of radical change, that our whole lives have to be aimed, have to be oriented. The goal, the end, the purpose we're pursuing, everything has to be oriented towards heaven. And if we're oriented towards the things of this world, eventually we're just going to fall far away from that heavenly goal. I think there's a great example that I love to use. I may have used it before, I definitely used it before in a homily, and that is the baby in the womb. The baby's goal is to be born. It's producing all these organs and eyes and ears and lungs, which are utterly useless in the womb, and they're made for another world. And if the baby was just concerned and working on that umbilical cord, which will eventually be, thrown away, then it wouldn't be prepared for the world that it's going to be living in. So too for us. We are spiritual beings. We are made for another world. And if we just focus on the things of this world, it's like we're just focusing on the umbilical cord. It's nice to have the umbilical cord when you're in the womb. It's important. But eventually it's going to be discarded. And so too, the things of this world that we focus so much attention and care on, they're going to get swept away. And the only thing that's going to matter is the love of God in our hearts. So what are we focused on? Let's not just make this a moment to say, okay, I'll just do a little bit more for charity. Let's make this a moment for us to turn our entire perspective towards God and towards the things that matter. When we make that change in our hearts, it's amazing what can happen. And that's what I'm going to be thinking about this weekend. I hope you enjoy your Mass in the pews. God bless you.